I'll start with my introduction. So I'm Sangeetha, Engineering Head for Analytics, Legal Tech and Security Business Units at OpenText India. And today we are going to talk about the cloud migration. Okay, so the buzzword everywhere, right? Because cloud right now, if we see, it is no more a technology. It is heart of every enterprise. Okay, so as part of this, okay, so I'm going to talk about our journey within OpenText. Okay, so how we have navigated through this and been successful. So before I go little deeper, right, I would like to start with a survey, okay, so that PwC PricewaterhouseCoopers has conducted in 2023. So if you see as part of this survey, right, 78% of the executives have responded that some or more part of their businesses they are adopting to the cloud. But here is a catch. Adoption to the cloud is different compared to how much are we actually reinventing in the business. How much is the company organization getting back? Okay, so that is very critical. And if you see in terms of reinventing the business model across, okay, so only 10% of the respondents said yes, they have adopted and they are also able to reinvent the business. So why only 10%? When 80%, around 80% are actually getting into this. And another interesting survey if we see, right, this is because of some challenges. The moment we say the migration, it is more about, see if you are building a product, okay, from ground up for the cloud, yes, we have all the world, okay, best practices that we can follow, right? But here the migration is we have a product off cloud and how can we take it to the cloud? Okay, and here as part of this, if you see, as part of this survey, most of the migration products or migration projects or migration initiatives, okay, so they are either getting 75% if you see they are over budget, and around 35% have responded that, okay, so they are behind the schedule by a quarter, 3 months, it is a very big time period, right? More than a quarter also, which is a huge thing for any organization. Right, we are in a competitive market, competitive industry, and every day counts. Right, so today, and I understand this project migration is different, or it is not a standard. One mantra that worked for one product migration might not work for the other product. And again, if you see, it varies from organization to the organization. So while we understand all these challenges, okay, today within OpenText, if we see each organization, each business unit I was talking about is like an organization. And as part of this journey, we have got almost all the products. Okay, so majority of our products onto the cloud. How we have done that. So that is a journey I'm going to talk about. And within my organization, my group itself, right, so I've got a couple of products which we have translated or we have transformed from the off cloud to the on to cloud. Okay, so this is more of sharing my journey and also the organization journey in terms of our transformation. So moving on further. So when I say cloud or adoption here, right, what we want to accomplish is, yes, we have off cloud products, okay, and the business model is to actually move to the complete cloud, and at the same time we have to support off cloud customers too. Right, so what we want to accomplish is support the off-cloud customers and in turn help the customers migrate from off-cloud to the on-cloud, okay, and also onboard new customers, okay, onto the cloud. So the cloud itself, if we see, it is very vast. And as part of our adoption, so within OpenText, okay, so we have our own OpenText cloud, okay, so which is private, and the public we offer. And along with that, our goal is to support customers not just on the OpenText cloud. If the customers have their own cloud, so whether it is on the hyperscaler, any hyperscaler or on their own cloud, we should be able to support. So that is our goal, that is our actually journey. So how are we able to achieve it? If you see, starting from off cloud, so we have transitioned to supporting on OT cloud, and then to the hyperscalers, and then finally, so we have actually transitioned to providing SaaS APIs also. How we have done that? So our journey, when I say journey, so don't mistake me, it is like, okay, 1 year or 2 years or 3 years journey. No, We are not in that world. Okay, so when I say journey, each of these boxes, it is like a quarter, not more than a quarter. Or maybe max of a quarter, depending on the product. But yes, so we were able to do it. So how is it? So I will start, okay, so just some boundaries here, right? So I'm not going to talk about new product development, okay, using microservices, and it is not about the OpenText cloud platform also. So the context here is how can we actually migrate a product, okay, so which is off cloud to the on cloud and to the SaaS. Okay, what are the best practices? Okay, that helped us really. So when I start, typical enterprise product, okay, off cloud stack, if you see, right, I said enterprise. So which means all the capabilities of monitoring, everything should be there as part of the as part of the product stack. So at a high level, if you see, we start with the core services, right? So which are nothing but the offerings. Since it's an enterprise product, the offerings can be actually leveraged through the core UI services or UI modules for the business users, or through the APIs that will help OEMs to actually integrate the product to their applications. That is also possible. And OpenText being the leaders in the information management solutions, right? So the next layer is very critical for us. So the data lake. So that is where we have all our content, customers' content. Okay, so that is very critical. Okay, so we have separate caches, okay, depending on the products, okay, that we are using, separate search mechanisms that we have. Okay, so separate queues, event streaming. So this is a separate layer. Yes, not in other products, but in our products we have very special emphasis over there. And then being an enterprise product, right? So even if it is on the on cloud, so we should have full support in terms of load balancing or monitoring, okay, and clustering, whatnot. Everything has to be built in, okay, into the product. Okay, and finally on the deployment, since it is off cloud, I don't have to say, but the product matrix that we need to support is huge. Because if we see the operating systems itself, the flavors of operating system, we can't say what flavor of operating system, what version of operating system the customer uses. And similarly, the databases the customer uses. So the product metrics for the deployment is again very, very complex. So this is the off-cloud stack I'm talking about, okay, which we have actually successfully moved to the cloud and to the SaaS. Okay, so now we will focus on our journey. As the first step, okay, towards transition to the cloud. So the first thing that we have actually decided is, okay, use the common code base irrespective of whether it is an off cloud or a cloud offering. Okay, we started with a common code base. That is very critical. And we have retuned all our CI/CD pipelines according to that. Okay, so in a way that, okay, so from the singular code base, multiple deployment targets, okay, so can be made. So whether it is an OpenText cloud, okay, or hyperscaler, okay, so we have actually built in some configurations within the pipeline, okay, to ensure. And also when it comes to the cloud, it is not just a production system, right? So we'll have several stages within the cloud, right, as part of the promotion cycle. So we have a dev cycle, we have a QA promotion, you have a pre-prod promotion, and finally to the promotion, green, blue, whatnot, everything will be there. So we have actually tuned our CI/CD pipelines towards that. And then the second thing is, as part of this, so we have moved to the containerization. Okay, so building the images. And as part of this, we have taken care that, okay, all these containers are immutable. So which means there is no data that is stored. Okay, so that really helps in rebooting or rebringing the container in case of failures. Okay. And similarly, like we have actually moved to using Kubernetes as part of the orchestration, and as part of this, right, some restructuring and re-architecture we have to do as part of this journey in terms of what services we need to deploy on each pod, okay, and how pod-to-pod communication has to happen. And whenever there is a failover, right, if the pod has to come up, again, it all depends on the services that are running on the pod. So which means we'll have to actually lean our services to an extent, okay, so that the uptime is fast. Okay, so these are some of the optimizations we have actually done as part of this. And towards deploying to various clouds, okay, so we have built cloud specific Helm charts, okay, that is also something we have taken care as part of this cycle. And added to that, as part of the pipeline itself, we know that the main difference between off cloud, which is running within the firewall of an organization, and a cloud, the main difference comes with respect to the compliance. So this particular platform is guided by many compliance things that we need to take care. So whether it is FedRAMP for US or Protected B for Canada, okay, so we'll have to take care of all this. And how did we do that? So multiple levels of securities that we have actually built in as part of this pipeline. So one is the scans. Okay, so the scan on the code. Okay, so the scans of all the images that we are building. Okay, so all this is built into the pipeline. And the other aspect that we have also taken care is a finer look at, a deeper look at the data that we are managing. So building different levels of access controls. Okay, so on this data, different levels of encryption, whether it is at rest or in motion. So on this data, this is also something we have taken care. When I say data, right, it can be categorized, okay, so into multiple types also again. So the data that is coming into the system, it can be the customer data, right? So that data, we just cannot take the data or those files or those streams just like that and maintain in our cloud. So building some antivirus, okay, tests, runs, okay, so on that data runtime. So that is also something we'll have very important that we have taken care as part of this process, whether it is ClamAV or some Sentinel-1 or a McAfee integration to all those APIs so that any data getting into the system is well protected. Okay, and similarly, what sort of encryptions and what sort of keys that we need to use. So that is also something we have actually taken care. And sometimes, okay, customers might give their own requirement in terms of they want to use their own keys. Okay, so all the customizations, configurations, okay, to allow that, these were all taken care as the first stage as part of this transition journey. And especially on the security, if you see, I don't know how many of you have actually attended the session by my colleague, okay, Kaviraj on 25th. If you have not, I think you should. So he had covered all the security in depth, okay, so that we have taken care as part of this journey. Because this is one aspect which is very, very, very important, I would say, when we are actually moving to the cloud. Okay, so these are few things that we have taken, okay, care as part of the first stage. When I say the first stage, it is not a stage that is just, okay, built in and just part of the pipeline. The moment we are done, this is also released to the customers. So which means we are going to see the benefit and also we are going to get the feedback immediately as part of the deployments from the cloud operations or also as part of new customers, okay, who are using it, okay, some more customization. So this way, on timely feedback we were getting because we are actually releasing immediately as and when we are making these changes to our softwares. And see, this is the glimpse I was talking about, the single code base that I started, right? So we are using the single code base, okay, for building the deployment artifacts specific for on-premise and also the cloud. When I say the cloud, it is basically OpenText Cloud or any other hyperscalers or any other public cloud. So moving on to the next stage. Okay, here, so if you see, we have actually followed a sort of a bottom-up approach. Okay, if you actually refer to my product stack, okay, so the deployment was the last, okay, and we have actually targeted the deployment aspects using containerization and Kubernetes and other security mechanisms, okay, so as a first step. And then we move to the next level, which is about, next level it is all about the enterprise configurations, which is mainly about monitoring, load balancing, logging, okay, so all this, so we have actually looked at each product as part of our journey and I've seen, okay, so how this can be delegated. These are something to be delegated to the PaaS platform, okay, because they offer, whether it is hyperscaler or the cloud, right, OpenText Cloud. So we have actually focused on cross-cutting concerns, okay, cross-cutting concerns, and actually abstracted all the code, okay, to support all this and also to delegate all these responsibilities, okay, to the cloud. So this really helped, okay, this happened as part of one release. This really helped in actually moving the product, okay, from completely off cloud to the cloud. Okay, still, if you see, the catchy thing is they are still single tenant. Okay, so they are running on the cloud, whether it is on OpenText cloud or the customer cloud. Yes, we have products running on the cloud, okay, and these are all still single tenant. But the good part is we were actually able to knock off or take care of all the cloud related nuances which are very, very important. Okay, so whenever we are transitioning to the cloud. Okay, so all those with these two steps, okay, we were able to actually take care initially. And this has given us the flexibility, okay, to really think about the next thing, what next? Okay, so that is, how can we move it to the SaaS? Okay, so within OpenText, apart from the OpenText cloud, right, so we also have a developer cloud. Okay, so how can we take our product to the developer cloud? So here, that is the SaaS offering. So now the focus, we are now able to completely focus on only the offerings because the remaining things are abstracted, and now we have got all the configurations to run our products, okay, on any platform. So as part of this, if you see, moving towards the SaaS, okay, so the first thing that we need to really look at is how do you want to actually offer your product there, whether it is as an application. When I say an application, it is a product in totality. So which means any product, enterprise product, if you see, it will have its own administration module with the workflows that can be customized. Okay, so we want to move it as a complete application, or you want to have a particular service as an offering. For instance, so one of our product is focused on text mining. Okay, so as the name itself says, right, we mine what is there in the text and and return back the insights on the text. Okay, so the text, that insight can be on the classification of the document or the sentiment or anything, whatever the customer asks. But here the key is the data. Okay, so how this data how we can give this result back. So it depends on if the integration aspect is we want to actually mine the data that is there in the complete content management system. Okay, so that is a complete offering, okay, on the off cloud. So where we can actually build a repository, we can mount the repository, we can get the data, we can actually mine the data and then give the results back, and also in fact update the results back into the repository itself. That is a complete flow. When I say if you want to take it, we need to decide whether we want to take the complete flow into the cloud as a SaaS offering, or the simplest thing is when we are talking about APIs, right? So the biggest thing is, okay, so the developer will be actually building this system using some other APIs, okay, but he wants, okay, specifically the result, an insight on the content of a particular document. Okay, so which means I don't have to get the entire baggage, okay, of the service offering, but I can only fine tune a particular aspect, okay, and build a service where my service can take a document or bunch of documents and return the insights on those documents. So the key aspect, the offering is a key aspect that we really need to focus whenever we are thinking about the SaaS. Because until the previous stage, okay, so the billing to the customer is also depends on the number of the infrastructure he is using. But when we are moving to the SaaS, okay, so the entire billing metrics also changes. So it can be based on the number of times APIs has been consumed or the number of data that is being used. It depends, right? So if once you take a decision on, okay, so whether you want to offer an application as a complete SaaS offering or a service as a SaaS offering, okay, so the first important thing that we need to really look at while we are taking this to the SaaS is, okay, subscription model. Okay, what type of subscription model we want to provide on this particular service. And the second is the tenant specification. Accordingly, we need to see all services may not really require tenant specific data that needs to be maintained on the cloud. Okay, some of the times or many times we may build only stateless services, not just stateful services, which means we don't have to really maintain any data. Right? So what sort of tenant specification, tenant configurations that we need to make, all the dotted lines are the main things, and what sort of APIs that we need to build. And based on these dotted lines, okay, so then we really have to focus on what sort of metering that we need to build, okay, and the data isolation that we need to do, what sort of information we need to put back, okay, so that the metering and the billing can be done. All these we were able to really focus on, okay, very closely, okay, not really bothering about the remaining, the bottom stack that are cloud specific. This really helped us, okay, so not just building services only for our own products, but also thinking about the developer journey in terms of when the developer actually tries to use more than one APIs, okay, that we are offering, how it needs to be, how can we fine tune. Okay, so this is the main thing, okay, so this transition, okay, from one stage to the other stage, within my group, if we see, we started with one product, okay, one product took some 2 quarters and the other product we were able to do less than 2 quarters. Okay, so this is one mantra I can say that really helped, okay, so towards our journey. And here, if we see from cloud, okay, from the cloud to the SaaS at a bird eye view, still on the cloud, even though we were supporting on OpenText Cloud and also other hyperscalers as single tenant, okay, these systems are still the same, okay. We were actually able to abstract the cloud specific things from the core offering. And when we moved to the SaaS, okay, we were actually trying to now, okay, granular, okay, depending upon, okay, the type of the service, the type of the offering that has business value. Okay, so this is the main thing where this helped us really in actually offloading all the things to our OpenText developer cloud shared services, okay, so shared infrastructure that has been given to us. And if you actually circle back to my first slide, where organizations, 78% of the respondents said they actually have some or more parts of their business moving to the cloud. Okay, only 10% really said, okay, they are able to reinvent the business. But if you see within the OpenText, okay, so because the way we have actually moved, okay, towards the cloud journey, migrating our products, okay, from the off cloud to the on cloud, and not just that, okay, so we also built a lot of new products, okay, within this as part of this journey, and this helped, okay, in redefining, okay, our business model to actually call OpenText as a complete cloud company. So we have, if you see, these are the different clouds that we offer. So content cloud, okay, so cybersecurity cloud, business network cloud. So when I say all these, right, these are specific to to a particular vertical, I would say, but at the same time, all these clouds offer APIs. Okay, and if you see the OpenText Cloud Platform, okay, that is where we have a developer platform where the developers can leverage these services across and build their own applications. Okay, and all our cloud editions, okay, all are now products, okay, we now call them as our cloud editions. If you see, all our cloud editions run now off cloud, and we also support multi-cloud connections and services. And similarly, all our cloud editions are fully supported on OpenText leading private cloud platform. And we also have our cloud edition features that are fully featured, okay, on our SaaS platform. And similarly, we also, along with this, we also have around 30 APIs that are available which the developers can use, okay, leveraging all the capabilities across all the clouds, okay, and build their own system. Okay, so this is the journey, okay, so that I wanted to say, and when I say journey, once again I want to reiterate, okay, it is not a journey of a year or more. Okay, so with this, I think I'm on time. I'll end my section. Thank you, everyone.